Have you ever wondered who the genius behind the creation of the affordable mass-produced car was? Let's turn back the hands of time to the year 1863, to a farm in Dearborn, Michigan. Here, on a warm summer's day, a boy named Henry Ford was born. A boy who would grow up to revolutionize the world, not just the auto industry. Growing up on a farm, young Henry was surrounded by the labor-intensive world of agriculture. But it wasn't the farm life that caught his imagination. It was the inner workings of the machines that kept the farm running, the clanging of metal, the hissing of steam, the magic of mechanics. It was all music to his ears. At the tender age of 16, Henry left the comfort of his home to venture into the bustling city of Detroit. He landed his first job at the Michigan Car Company, a company that manufactured railroad cars. Here, he was not just another cog in the machine. He was a curious and ambitious young man, eager to learn, eager to innovate. In the gritty, grease-stained world of the Michigan Car Company, Ford found his calling. He was fascinated by the power of machinery, the way gears turned and wheels spun. Every day was a new opportunity to learn, to grow, and to dream. At a time when automobiles were a luxury for the rich, Ford dreamed of a car for the common man. A car that was reliable yet affordable, a car that would change the world, and so the seeds of a revolution were planted. But the path to revolution is never smooth. There were challenges to face, obstacles to overcome, but Ford was not deterred. He believed in his vision, in the power of innovation, and in the potential of the automobile. This was just the beginning of a journey that would revolutionize the auto industry. And as we'll discover, Henry Ford was just getting started. His story, his legacy, is a testament to the power of a dream, the power of perseverance, and the power of believing in the impossible. Henry Ford, not content with the status quo, decided to make his own mark in the world of mechanics. From the bustling streets of Detroit, a city roaring with the sounds of industry, came a vision. A vision for a future where every common man could own an automobile, not just the privileged few. Ford's journey began with the founding of the Detroit Automobile Company in 1899. The company's promise was to deliver a reliable and affordable automobile, but alas, it was not to be. The cars it produced were expensive, unreliable, and far from the dream Ford had envisioned. And it revolutionized the way businesses treated their employees. Ford believed that if he paid his workers enough, they would be able to afford the very cars they were making. This wasn't just a business strategy, it was a philosophy of treating employees fairly and improving their quality of life. But Ford's innovation wasn't limited to the manufacturing process. He was also a pioneer in the field of automotive engineering. One of his most notable achievements was the development of the V8 engine. The V8 was a game changer, offering increased power and performance while still being affordable for the average consumer. This engine became a symbol of American power and performance, and it's still in use in various forms today. Moreover, Ford's influence was not confined to the auto industry. His vision of mass production was adopted by other industries, revolutionizing the way we manufacture goods. His assembly, after just a year and a half, the company dissolved, marking Ford's first major setback. But Ford was not a man to be defeated easily. He was fueled by his vision, by his dream. And so he dusted himself off and founded the Henry Ford Company in late 1901. The company started strong, but soon disagreements with investors over the direction of the company led to Ford's departure. Another setback, another failure. Yet Ford was not disheartened. He saw these failures not as the end, but as stepping stones towards his ultimate goal. He knew that to make his dream a reality, he had to break free from the constraints of traditional thinking. He needed to innovate, to revolutionize, and so he did. He started working on his own designs, his own ideas. He experimented, he failed, he learned, he improved. He was relentless, tireless, undeterred. He knew that the only way to succeed was to keep moving forward, keep pushing, keep turning the gears of innovation. His perseverance would soon pay off. In 1903, the Ford Motor Company was born. It was here, in this new venture, that Ford would finally bring his vision to life. He would create a car that was reliable, affordable, and within the reach of the common man. With resilience and determination, Ford was ready to change the world. This was just the beginning of a journey that would redefine the landscape of the automotive industry forever. The gears of innovation were in motion, and there was no stopping them. The year 1908 marked a turning point in the auto industry, thanks to Henry Ford's revolutionary invention. This was the year when Henry Ford introduced the world to the Model T car, redefined not just the automotive industry, but the very fabric of modern society. His impact is seen in every corner of the globe, in every car, on every road. Let's take a moment to explore the depth of this impact. Henry Ford's revolutionary assembly line process transformed manufacturing forever, making it possible to mass-produce complex machines like automobiles for the first time. This innovation didn't just make cars more affordable, it set a new standard for efficiency and productivity across all industries. But that's not all. Ford's vision extended beyond the factory. He understood that for his dream of a car in every home to become a reality, a game changer that would forever transform the automobile industry and society as a whole, he needed to pay his workers a wage that would allow them to become consumers. Thus, he introduced the $5 workday, effectively doubling the average wage of the time and creating a new class of consumers. This is the birth of the middle class. The Model T, affectionately known as the Tin Lizzie, was a marvel of simplicity, reliability, and affordability. Ford's vision was to create a vehicle for the great multitude, and the Model T was exactly that. It was a car that the average American could afford, signaling a shift away from the notion that automobiles were a luxury meant only for the wealthy. But it wasn't just the car itself that was revolutionary. It was also the way it was made. Ford's introduction of the assembly line method of manufacturing was an innovation that would change the face of industry forever. Imagine this. Before the assembly line, cars were built by groups of workers who assembled the entire vehicle. It was a slow, labor-intensive process. Ford's assembly line method, on the other hand, was all about efficiency. Each worker had a specific task, and the car moved along a conveyor belt from one station to the next. This method drastically reduced the time it took to build a car, from 12.5 hours to just 2.5. This increase in efficiency resulted in a decrease in cost. The Model T, which initially sold for $850, dropped to as low as $260 within a decade. The impact of the Model T and the assembly line method was profound. It made the automobile accessible to the masses and created a new era of mobility. It also set a precedent for mass production that industries around the world would follow. The Model T was not just a car, it was a symbol of accessible mobility for all. It was a testament to Henry Ford's vision and ingenuity, a game changer that ushered in a new era of personal transportation and forever changed the landscape of manufacturing. Ford's innovation did not stop with the Model T. His vision extended far beyond that of just creating a vehicle for the masses. He was a man of extraordinary foresight whose contributions to the industry still resonate today. One such contribution was the introduction of the $5 wage. This was an unheard-of pay rate at the time. A line concept, where each worker performed a specific task in the production process, was a groundbreaking approach that significantly increased efficiency. This concept was later adopted by industries worldwide, from electronics to food processing, forever changing the landscape of industrial production. But perhaps the most enduring part of Ford's legacy is his belief in the power of innovation. He once said, "If I had asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses." Instead, he gave them the automobile, showing the world that innovation isn't just about improving what's already there, but about imagining what could be. Ford was not just a car manufacturer, he was a visionary who believed in the power of innovation. His legacy continues to inspire and shape the auto industry, reminding us that visionaries don't just see the world as it is, but as it could be. So what is the legacy of a man like Henry Ford, you may ask? This farm boy from Michigan, armed with nothing more than a love for mechanics and a vision of a world where every family could afford a car as we know it today. Ford's impact on the world didn't stop at the factory gate or the paycheck. His Model T car, the first vehicle to be produced on his assembly line, transformed mobility and opened up the world. No longer were people confined to their immediate surroundings. The Model T gave them freedom to explore, to venture beyond the horizon, to connect with far-flung communities. And so, the visionary who once said, "If I had asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses," gave us so much more than just a faster horse. He gave us a new way of life, a new way of seeing the world, a new way of connecting with each other. Henry Ford, a farm boy with a love for mechanics, drove the world into the future, proving that with persistence and innovation, anyone can change the world.